From the intersection of Curie and Clay Streets in Monrovia. Good evening and a warm welcome to Freedom Evening News Basket. 45-minute news about Liberia, Africa, and the rest of our global village. Today is Wednesday, March 7. My name is Hagar Gonda. On top of tonight's edition of the program, in the top developments we're following, about 16 law school graduates, including journalist Abraham Gossant Wayan, passes judiciary legal exams, while 2 graduates were unsuccessful. Movement for Progressive Change political leader Simeon Freeman terms as unnecessary cause for the establishment of the War and Economic Crimes Code for Liberia. Central Bank of Liberia warns against the refusal of the citizens to accept the old Liberian dollar banknotes on the market before its stipulated March 31, 2024 deadline. And away from home, dozens of displaced people I fear to have been adopted by Boko Haram jihadists in northeastern Nigeria, the BBC is reporting. The detail of these, plus other local and international stories, the voices of those behind the news, are all anticipated on tonight's edition of the program. At this juncture, we'll cross over to the news center where Stephen Contron is seated to read for us the bulletin of news. Stephen, good evening. Welcome.
Good evening, listeners. About 16 law school graduates, including journalist Abraham Wayan, have successfully a summation of the candidates' names will set the stage for Chief Justice Sani Ayo to mandate some sacred code judges to emit then to the respected local bars as entering a law. Our judiciary correspondent further said that the candidates' summation will enable them to practice law in the jurisdiction as provided by Chapter 17, Section 17.6 of the Judiciary Law of Liberia. This the second time most of the successful candidates cite for the judiciary legal test, which was administered on February 23, 2024 at the Temple of Justice. The political leader of the opposition movement for progressive change, Simeon Freeman, has described the establishment of the World Crown Code as not necessary in the country. Speaking with reporters on Tuesday, March 7, Freeman said the establishment of the War and Economic Crimes Code has no benefit to the country and will burden the judiciary when established. He added that whatever resources collected can be used for lawyers and empowered security agencies to provide witness protection services while the cause are being tried in Liberia. It can be recalled that on March 5, 2024, 40 out of 73 representatives in session signed a resolution seeking to establish the World and Economic Crimes Code. In a related development, the political leader of the Movement for Progressive Change, Simeon Freeman, has reacted to recent debate about the removal of tenure position from the government, terming it as illicit argument. Recently, President Joseph Boakai appointed several individuals to their tenure position in government, prompting several public debates among citizens, including those occupying those positions, issuing writ of prohibition against the government at the Supreme Court. Addressing the news conference at the headquarters of the Movement for Progressive Change Wednesday in Monrovia, Freeman noted that such arguments should not be supported by any Liberian. According to Freeman, those tenure positions are created for what he termed as a trust for public policy stability in the governance process of the country. The MPC political leader also said tenure positions to the various government agencies are intended for check and balance and good governance. At the same time, the MPC political leader has termed President Joseph Boyka's 100 days promise to the Liberian people as empty talk. According to Freeman, President Boyka's failure to set up his government in more than a month of leadership is a lack of competency by the Liberian leader. The Central Bank of Liberia has warned against the refusal of old Liberian banknotes on the Liberian market before its stipulated March 31, 2024 deadline. The CBL action comes in the wake of media reports that some citizens across the country are rejecting the old banknotes known as the LS1 and SL2 series. Speaking on the EFBC's Money Matter program on Wednesday, the Central Bank of Liberia's head of corporate communication, Councillor Afonso Zion, said the old banknotes remain legal tender on the Liberian market until April 1, 2024. He noted that in an effort to carry out awareness for the public to accept the old banknote, the CBL is working with the Liberia Marketing Association and other entities aimed at ensuring that the information reached to the hard-to-reach parts of the country. However, Councillor Zion is at the same time calling on the citizens to take advantage of the process and ensure that their old banknotes are exchanged for the new ones. He meanwhile cautioned the citizens to not be panicked, noting that there will be windows open at the CBL to exchange the old banknotes after the March 31 deadline. President Joseph Boyka is expected to lead a high-power government delegation on Thursday, March 7 to Abidjan for a one-day state visit. A release from the executive mansion is quoted as saying that during the visit, President Joseph Boyka and his Ivorian counterpart, President Lassana Ouattara, will hold discussion regarding a range of issues centered on Liberia-Cote d'Ivoire relations. Their focus will be on matters related to the Liberia-Cote d'Ivoire Framework Agreement, electricity, agriculture, and regional security. According to the executive mansion, the president's visit is due to growing security tension due to the terrorist activities and military takeover that the African sub-region is experiencing. The release further noted that the president and his team's visit to Ivory Coast will cover discussions such as the Transco CLSG and the National Center for Agronomical Research, among others. The release added that the Liberian leader is also said to participate in the Liberia-Cote d'Ivoire Joint Commission meeting, which will bring together several high-ranking officials from both governments to review significant issues, including strengthening the long-standing ties of friendship and cooperation. Police authorities have finally released about 23 individuals from detention in connection to the incident at Bear Mountain, Grand Cape County. The police action, according to our judiciary correspondent, was triggered by petition for a writ of habeas filed by Councillor Boto Winston at the criminal court to compel his client's release. Anthony Winston's 6-count petition to the court caused the police that accused the police of wrongfully detaining his clients without charges in violation of Article 21 of the 1986 Constitution. Our judiciary correspondent further said, though the police authority refused to honor Judge Blamo Dixon's March 4 order, but defense lawyer Anthony Watson confirmed his client's release without coming under the jurisdiction of the court. House Speaker Funati Kofa has welcomed President Joseph Boyka's executive order on asset recovery, stressed an urgent need for the establishment of the World and Economic Crimes Court. President Joseph Boyka recently announced Executive Order 126, which is aimed at establishing the Office of Asset Recovery in response to widespread concerns regarding the unlawful acquisition of wealth by some past government officials at the expense of the Liberian people. The president, through his communication, said that the office will spearhead efforts to identify, trace, and retrieve assets that have been illegally acquired or converted to public use by government officials. Meanwhile, the House Speaker, through his official Facebook page on Wednesday, March 6, welcomed the president's decision and called for the urgent establishment of the Corruption and Crimes Code to hold past and present individuals who he said are linked to corruption accountable. He furthered that the establishment of the War and Economic Crimes Code could mark the end of impunity in Liberia. The Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency has turned over to the Liberia National Police one of its officers. According to the LDEA Director Ibrahim Kroman, Agent Morba shot and injured a notorious drug dealer in the area after the victim, who is said to be identified, tussled with his men in an attempt to win over his gun. Gordon Crowman said the victim is currently at the John F. Kennedy Hospital in Singer undergoing treatment. He cautioned citizens against fighting law enforcement officers during their discharge of their duty. The notorious drug dealer, according to the LDEA boss, is identified as Charles Massaquoi. And to this very last development before returning to Haga, Liberia's President Joseph Boyka has set up a task force to crack down on corruption and to recover stolen state assets. President Boyka ordered it to identify and prosecute any senior official involved, including current and past government officials. His executive order said that said asset wrongfully acquired at the expense of the government and people of Liberia should be returned. It was imperative to cushion these alarming trends that has engulfed our country, the president said. People who purchase government assets illegally should also be forced to return them. Individuals who lived outside of Liberia and are suspected of shipping of public assets could face extradition. Funding have been allocated to the task force, which will begin work immediately. Wahiga is back to you for the continuation of the news program.
7.9 presents Freedom Cash Giveaway. Yes, thousand many times as
Many thanks to Stephen Compton for the news bulletin. He returns later on in the news for our foreign stories. If you're just joining us, a reminder that you're listening to 45-minute news presentation about Liberia, Africa, and the rest of our global village. In the top developments we're following tonight, about 16 law school graduates, including journalist Abraham Wayan, passes judiciary legal exams, while 2 graduates were unsuccessful. Movement for Progressive Change political leader Simon Freeman terms as necessary calls for the establishment of a war crimes court for Liberia. Central Bank of Liberia warns against the refusal of citizens to accept the old Liberian dollars banknotes before its stipulated March 31, 2024 deadline. In a way, from Liberia, dozens of displaced people are feared to have been adopted by Boko Haram jihadists in northeastern Nigeria, the BBC of those behind the nose. The political leader of the opposition movement for progressive change, Simon Freeman, has described the code as necessary in the country. Speaking with reporters on Tuesday, Freeman said the establishment of the code has benefit to the country and will burden the judiciary when established. He added that whatever resources collected can be used for lawyers and empower security agencies to provide witness protection service while the accused are being tried in the country.
Did you follow the war crime code in Saturday? I think after millions of dollars spent, I think three or four people hit out no money, three other guys, and now the whole war crime code is wrong. So, gentlemen, let me hear this. If somebody was killed on anybody right now, if I kill your wife or your sister, are you going to wait for a war crime code? I'll be realistic. Are you going to wait for that? No. You take me to court. Whatever happened during the war, those who have the resources, and we've been arguing, what they can do, bring those resources, pay lawyers, pay private security firms to provide witness protection program, facilitate witnesses, and whoever it is that is seen as violating or have violated or have killed, take that person to court. And actions to be taken at our court. All of the war crime, all the war criminals that have been tried in America, do they have a war crime code there? Do they have a war crime code in Europe? No. So you see, we have to be realistic. Our court system is adequate to deal with crime. When we begin to change our focus and focus on those things that do not add value, then we will be looking in directions that's not going to add value. In my mind, this whole thing about war economic crime court is going to burden the judiciary. Where's the money going to come from? You have to establish that court.
In a related development, the political leader of the Movement for Progressive Change, Simon Freeman, has reacted to recent debate about the removal of tenure positions from the government, terming it as lazy argument. Recently, President Joseph Boakai appointed several individuals to various tenure positions in government, prompting several public debates among citizens, including those occupying those positions, issuing rates of prohibition against the government at the Supreme Court. Addressing a news conference at the headquarters of the Movement for Progressive Change Wednesday in Monrovia, Freeman noted that such argument should not be supported by any Liberian.
We firstly want to start with the issue of formation of the government still delayed. In our mind, that's quite unfortunate. When Mr. Boakai was elected, he was out of this country for more than 3 weeks. We thought that a rescue team should have had a better engagement with the outgoing administration in terms of the transitional team to be able to protect government assets. 3 weeks was more than enough to try to form a government that will hit the ground running. You could not be on VOA talking about 100 days deliverable when in fact almost 50 days into your administration, the government is not enough. We think it demonstrates a huge lack of capacity. And not just that, you have crisis brewing at our mining concessions. And we think all of this is a clear result of the lack of capacity that we have warned Boakai did not have. He's too old to govern the country. He doesn't have any.
Did you follow the war crime code in Sierra Leone? I think after millions of dollars spent, I think only 3 or 4 people hit out Norman, 3 other guys, and now the whole war crime code business was finished. Look, gentlemen, let's be realistic. If somebody was killed from anybody right now, if I kill your wife or your sister, are you going to wait for a war crime code? I'll be realistic. Are you going to wait for that? No. You take me to court. Whatever happened during the war, those who have the resources, and we've been arguing, what they can do, bring those resources, pay lawyers, pay private security firms to provide witness protection program, facilitate witnesses, and whoever it is that is seen as violating or have violated or have killed, take that person to court. And actions to be taken at our court. All the war criminals that have been tried in America, do they have a war crime code there? Do they have a war crime code in Europe? No. So you see, we have to be realistic. Our court system is adequate to deal with crime. When we begin to change our focus and focus on those things that do not add value, then we will be looking in directions that's not going to add value. In my mind, this whole thing of a war economic crime court is going to burden the judiciary. Where's the money going to come from? You have to establish that court.
At the same time, the MPC political leader has termed President Boakai's 100-day promise to the Liberian people as empty talk. According to Freeman, President Boakai's failure to set up his government in more than a month of leadership is a lack of competence by the Liberian president.
To start with the issue of formation of the government still delayed. In our mind, that's quite unfortunate. When Mr. Boakai was elected, he was out of this country for more than 3 weeks. We thought that a rescue team should have had a better engagement with the outgoing administration in terms of the transitional team to be able to protect government assets. 3 weeks was more than enough to try to form a government that will hit the ground running. You could not be on VOA talking about 100 days deliverable, when in fact, almost 50 days into your administration, the government is not enough. We think it demonstrates a huge lack of capacity. And not just that, you have crisis brewing at our mining concessions. And we think all of this is a clear result of the lack of capacity that we have warned Boakai did not have. He's too old to govern the country. He doesn't have energy. Neither does he have the capacity. And we warned about that and beginning to manifest itself. We strongly believe that the so-called 100 days deliverable was just an empty talk. Our people must ignore people who only want to lead for the fulfillment of the childhood dream. Boakai wanted to be president as far back as 1982. Not that he wanted to be president because he had any clear vision, because his entire performance record showed that wherever he served in government, he's basically just a bureaucrat. And he lacks the capacity and energy to lead trillions of problems we have in this country. Bad rule, poor education, health, failing economy, inflation, all of these things are serious problems. We think we need a serious person with a performance track record from the private sector to lead us.
Simeon Freeman is the political leader of the Movement for Progressive Change. They're speaking at a press conference held on Wednesday. The Central Bank of Liberia has warned against the refusal of the old Liberian dollar banknotes on the Liberian market before its stipulated March 31, 2024 deadline. The CBL action comes in the wake of media reports that some citizens across the country are rejecting the old banknotes known as the LX1 and XL2 series. Speaking on ELBC's Money Matters program on Wednesday, the Central Bank of Liberia's head of corporate communication, Councillor Alfonso Zian, said the old banknotes remain legal tender on the Liberian market until April 1, 2024.
It is actually wrong for public to start rejecting the banknotes. So we want to use, this medium to inform our listening public and also those are part of the SME businesses to stop rejecting the old banknotes. The old banknotes are still legal tender and they must be used for transactions. So we want to appeal to the keke riders, the pimping riders, the marketeers, to accept the old banknotes up to the deadline. So no one is allowed, and the Central Bank has not told anyone to reject the banknotes. We have we have windows open at the commercial banks where anyone can go, to exchange the old banknotes. So the windows are meant for those that don't have accounts. But if you have more than $10,000, then you have to open the account. So, even if the deadline expired, some of them windows will still be open, to exchange the money. So we still have a leverage, for people to take advantage of the Standard Bank windows when they have the old banknotes. So nobody is allowed to reject the old banknote because the old banknotes are still legal tender.
The message itself. I think our reading of the situation is that people are getting the message. They are taking precaution. They think that when the deadline comes, as of the 31st, the money will be left in their hands. And so they are taking precaution very early to start to set the deadline ahead of the deadline set by the central bank. So they are rejecting money. And Director Jope is quite right. What we continue to emphasize is that please do not reject the money. The money is still legal tender. When you receive the money, even after the 31st of March, the central bank has put in place a mechanism to continue to exchange the old money for the new money. So when you get the money and after the deadline, you can still go to the central bank window. Besides the central bank headquarters, you can do the exchange process at the Hopping Bank. And there are several other facilities that are in place, where people can be able to bring the money to the hub or the central bank headquarters to exchange the money. So there is no need to refuse the money before the deadline.
Alfonso Zian is the head of corporate communications at the Central Bank of Liberia, speaking on the CBL Money Matters program on ELPC. Well, he's taking us for a break. We acknowledge Crime Stoppers Liberia. When we come back, we'll continue with more developments on the news program.
In the eyes of the law, no one is a criminal until he or she is found guilty. Violence.
It's about music. There are crimes in many places. In every community, you can see. So if you see crime, report it. Don't take law in your hand for the right authority. That it can't take your law in. Crime Stopper here for us, bringing safety to your door. Whether you rich or you poor, if you see a human target, I mean you check. Do it for your safety. If you see it, don't keep it. You must call to report it. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crimes for all of us. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crimes for all of us.
Crime Stopper Liberia is your community crime fighting partner. Don't take the law into your own hands. Remember, if you see a crime, report it. This is a message from your own self, Old Man Sam Cyan.
Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crimes for all of us. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crimes for all of us.
Crime Stoppers Liberia is proud to be associated with Freedom Evening News Basket. Bond County District 7 representative for the family has concluded a day-long district meeting with citizens of Foreman District in Bond County. The meeting was aimed at discussing the fall march of the district and how to achieve a sustainable development over the next 6 years. During the meeting, Representative Fambule reiterated that there will be no business as usual in moving the district forward. He emphasized the need for unity and collaboration among all stakeholders, highlighting the importance of transparency, accountability, and good governance in ensuring sustainable development for the district.
First thing, I would like to say a very big thank you to all of our chiefs and elders for coming for today's meeting. All our senior citizens, our stakeholders on Road 30, thank you for coming. We say thank you to all of our citizens that are here today. Thank you for coming and taking this meeting very serious. And what we can show you today will not be the last of this kind of meeting. We will continue to bring all those things that we all believe will help develop this place. Nothing will remain secret. All of us will help solve this problem. If corruption that we know is apparent in our country will help to solve it, and we need to expose it. So I sat back, listen to everyone. All of us here have sensed where the problem is. Transparency is a problem. People now open to each other. What I do know is that when I took over, I've been in the district I never traveled. So nothing in place there that I've not heard about or heard something about. Former has various towers, but today you have realized that one of those towers, no one can get in here and take over. For 6 years, I'm not talking about the past, but even within the 6 years that we get ending, no story about it, no account. So everyone keeping the money to their house, and at the end of the day, they don't want for any authority to question them, but authority will start questioning you people who taking the district money. So all of the people who, let me start solving this small now. All of the people who say they keeping the district money, they get the other people for the district and money being inside, from here tomorrow, all of them will come and give full account for the district resources. If we don't have account, we'll open district account and put that money in the account, have signature to it, and when we come in meeting, we'll say that the people responsible for it. So bring those people to book. And moving forward, if you set up a team in Gingimaya, that team, they're not accountable to themselves. Because the real trouble is that, so Gingimaya will raise over 20,000 a day on Tuesday. That money, right here to the clinic, no food there for the ordinary pregnant women. No drugs in the clinic. And you just take it faster than 100,000. 100,000 can provide some drugs in that place, and you can give it all free.
He's the representative of Bong County District 7. For the family there speaking. The president of the National Dump Truck Workers Union of Liberia, Maurice Sangari, is urging the government to resolve the ongoing dispute between his union, the East International Road Construction Company, and residents of Benstown in Lower Margibi. Recently, the East International Road Construction Company has been preventing truck drivers from using the road that passes through the company's rock crushing center. According to Sangari, East International's justification for their action is that the truck owners have refused to purchase dyed and crushed rocks from the company.
And so sad yet because they support that needed from the police and never heard that from them. But the problem there, we still trying to negotiate with the people, say they still doing their business there. We are a citizen of Liberia. We need to do our business in all Federal County, all Federal District. We still need to talk to the people that we can get access to the particular alley to get to the Benstown community. You know, our businesses, most of you go by raid then because people doing road war because of the dry season, support filling their swamp, support filling their foundation. So most of our business right now that the rate the Larora die. So if they post up to that road, it will affect our business and the Bureau business as well. It will affect the citizen also because the citizen media call the Choco New president as president today. They call me. Then last week they went behind me to go there. So there's what today they want to flag a role. The citizen came again. They say any choppers that we met a protest going on. Benstown community people they call me and the driver who were there. They call all through the little say they try to reach there and we went there to increase. What really happy the roadblock is there. So actually we came to understanding. We talk to the East management people and talk to the community people. They will to open the road in front of us there. But while the police took and made what there, our concern was for East International. So long they desire to do business, they should leave that road open for the commercial truck. The police that can they both said that we have no right to use that road for now because they put pay the road for their road construction business. They didn't pay it for commercial trucks. So we need to set with the management of the company to see how best put a mechanism in place that we can work together as a user. So I said, no problem. We've been working together. We are buying route from East International. We are buying rate there from the people. Our truck, we left there more like 50 trucking to do business with the people. So when the people know that, they need to see how best to see our help to our support to go towards a company that will do business with them. They need to give all the road to access to us. But now the way we looking until we get to the management group, the bossmen there, the CRBs, we can sit down one round table, get afford to get access to the road. That's what the government work.
Maurice Sangari is the president of the National Dump Truck Workers Union of Liberia. They're speaking. Today's development, just before we go for our regional story, the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency has turned over to the Liberia National Police its Niku Town Operational Detail Commander for an investigation after an alleged shooting incident that led to the death of one person in the Banjo Beach community. According to the LDA Director Abraham Kroma, Agent Moba shot and injured an affiliate of a notorious drug dealers in the area after the victim, who is yet to be identified, tussle with his man in an attempt to win over his gun. Colonel Kroma said the victim is currently at the John F. Kennedy Hospital in Cinco undergoing medical treatment.
Operation Commander in person of Agent Philip Mobile of the Nikuchan detail was involved in an arrest scuffle along the Banjo Beach community, where an individual yet to be identified became a victim unintentionally when he attempted to tussle with the Operation Commander in an attempt to disarm him of his weapon after being ordered by the alleged drug dealer not to allow the officer to kill him, basically trying to stop the officer from arresting the drug dealer. According to Agent Foley, he received an intel that support that suspect Charles Massacre, the notorious drug dealer, was within the Nikuchan community to purchase the substance. Upon receiving the information, Agent Foley said he proceeded, and he decided to follow after the suspect in an attempt to verify the information and to have him subsequently arrested. While telling him, they were later informed that he had gone to the Banjo Beach, where he is based. Upon approaching the scene, Dr. Charles Massacre was immediately arrested by our men in an attempt to have him removed from the scene. The scaffolding resulted into the unfortunate discharge of Agent Foley's weapon, which accidentally.
Well, folks, let's rejoin Stephen Compton for the foreign development.
Dozens of displaced people appear to have been adopted by Boko Haram jihadists in northeast Nigeria. Local said. The abduction occurred when the group went to collect firewood to cook or sell. The added report of the number of people kidnapped varied widely from nearly 50 to more than 300 persons. The largest mass adoption by Boko Haram occurred when more than 270 schoolgirls were seized from their dormitory in Chibok town, also in the northeast that's Borno State in 2014. The latest adoption took place several days ago, but details are only emerging now because Gamporo Galagi is in a remote area on the shore of the Lake Chad. Hager is back to you.
What they call Chabu? Many thanks to Stephen Compton for the new.
Really can't take care of it. Crime Stopper here for us, bringing safety to your door.
Well, folks, on that foreign note, that's how we draw down the curtains on tonight's edition of the news program. Before we take leave of you, let's remind you of stories that made headlines on the program. About 16 law school graduates, including Abraham Whalen, passed judicial legal exams, while 2 candidates were unsuccessful. Movement for Progressive Change political leader Simeon Freeman terms as unnecessary calls for the establishment of a war crimes code for Liberia. Central Bank of Liberia warns citizens against the refusal of the old Liberian dollar banknotes on the Liberian market before its stipulated March 31, 2024 deadline. In away from home, dozens of displaced people are feared to have been adopted by Boko Haram jihadists in northeastern Nigeria, the BBC is reporting. Thanks to you for your listening role. Thanks to our writers, reporters, editors, and contributors, and all those who helped in making today's edition of the program a success. Stephen Cotton was here with the news bulletin, inclusive of our regional developments. Marvis Dabe, Sarah Control, ably coordinated the sound aspect on tonight's edition of the program. For that, on behalf of the entire team, my name is Hagar Gonda. I presented. Do have yourselves a God bless good night.